now. Hey guys, it is the 16th of July, and welcome to episode 72 of 4PlayerAnimecast. I am your host, Spire, and we are entering the depths of the summer 2017 season. Again, there's going to be a lot of shows that we're going to talk about in the first, like 3+ episodes into the summer season, so get ready. But anyways, here's the rest of the cast here. What's up?
Hello.
Oh.
Hello.
He's back.
I watched the anime.
Yeah, all the animes. And then, which ones have you been up to recently?
I have watched all of Made in
All of-
Abyss.
Yes.
The entire
Uh,
series. I watched it all.
I mean, if there is one series to watch, like at the early parts of this season, it will probably be Made in Abyss because that's the thing that a lot of people are going to be talking about, right? I think.
Well, Made in Abyss is. I'm kind of looking forward to this ever since the adaptation was announced. And it's kind of the only thing I'm interested in this season. There's a couple other things I'll check out, but this is
What
kind
about
of
gamers? Haha.
Yeah, I don't know about that one, but yeah, Made in Abyss is the big thing for me this season. So
Okay.
Now, is it Made in Abyss or Made in Abyss?
Made
That's two different
in
things.
Abyss.
Like Made in China,
Yeah,
but in Abyss.
You're
actually-
Made in China, nerd.
Dance game. Anyways, Toast. What
But
about you? What have you been up to recently?
it is I, Nier, and I too have watched the animes.
oh, what's up?
Which
up?
animes?
I watched things that I said I'd watch that came out.
Like,
Yeah.
you
I
said
watched
you.
like 1, 2, 3, 4.
No. The list is
6
fine.
things.
Oh,
Thank you, Toast. I appreciate that you watch animes 1 through 6.
If you ask him like 2 more times, I think we'll actually get to what the titles were.
so what
Did you
series
know
did
that
Toast read?
TQ Season 9, Episode 97 came out 4 days ago?
I know fucking damn well you didn't watch that.
I watched it.
So he watched Fate Apocrypha, Toast, as well as Did you watch Knights of Magic, like the anime?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you watched that, and we'll talk about that a little bit more.
I also watched more Token Ranbu.
Token Rambo's there too. Yep.
Some of that Hajime no Gal.
Yes, I really do need to watch that Hajime no Gal.
Oh,
God, I really need to watch
why?
that.
No,
There's so many meme series
Pervert.
that I need to watch this
Pervert.
season. Hajime no
No.
Gyaru, and Tenshi no Santi. What
Why
else? The
pervert?
gamers.
If you're gonna watch Hajime no Gal, make sure you get the uncensored version because you'll get
There's
a
an
bunch of
uncensored version.
yes,
Yeah.
of course.
you'll get
What do you
a
think this
bunch of
series is?
pink hearts everywhere, and it's kind of lame.
That's pretty funny, actually. Yeah. Okay, so that's pretty good.
I also watched Isekai smartphone
Yes, smartphone.
phone cell game thing.
Yeah, I need to. I mean, I don't think I need to watch that so much because I don't really want to go through another fucking straight adaptation of that series. I mean, it's like a whatever. It's like a peaceful series, but I'm not like looking forward to repeating it again. So, but
I
yeah,
also watched Aho Girl because apparently that's better than imagined. It is the sleeper hit of this season.
sleeper hit.
Sleeper hit.
Sleeper.
Literally, nobody could see that Hiroyuki could perhaps make a comedy series. The man behind Mangaka-san to Assistant-san, nobody could predict that he could actually make a comedy series. So,
Would you say it's an instant classic?
it's the classic? Would you say
Yeah.
it's better than Clannad?
I also watched Centaur's Words and
No comment.
Gamers.
that was very smooth, though.
That's Are you a politician, Toast?
Yeah. Jesus.
I watched some things. So I don't know. Was that 6? It sounded like
Yeah.
8.
Yeah, that was a lot of series, though. But okay, yeah. I mean, that's a decent amount of series, and we'll definitely talk about at least some of them in the next in the upcoming episodes.
But did you watch Zure Children? Because that also came out.
Stop reminding me of series I need to watch. Toast.
I
I'm
did.
feeling really bad about myself.
I watched it.
Jesus.
Which Is there 2 episodes out?
Of what? So
yes.
I
does
think
it?
there are more than
Yeah.
2, but
Yes,
definitely
but the
2, at
second
least 2.
episode came out very recently, I think.
Okay.
I watched the first episode.
All right. So with that in mind, again, we'll talk about one series Tess mentioned soon. But
What if I don't want to talk about 8 series? What if I want to talk about Aho Girl?
yeah, that's a tough sell.
Well, you're fucking not allowed to.
Yeah, literally banned.
Wow.
Dark. What are
I
you up to?
watched. Let's see. I watched Made in Abyss. I watched
Mhm.
Knights and Magic. I watched Morhinology.
Uh-huh.
I watched Aho Girl. I watched the first 5 seconds of Gal.
Shadow.
Yeah,
Wow,
I watched the
5
first
seconds.
5 seconds of it.
Wait, Tenshi no Sanpi hasn't come out yet, right?
I haven't. It did, but I haven't watched it yet. Actually, I watched the first 5 seconds of that too. I looked at the title art of Princess Principal and remembered that came out. Haven't watched that yet. Watched the first 30 seconds of Fox Spirit Matchmaker.
Oh yeah, I actually have the first 2 episodes of that actually. But I need to actually.
In beautiful Japanese.
Haha, Nipponese.
And I watched the first episode of New Game.
Ah, yes, season 2.
New Game Season 2. It's too much so far.
Wait, what do you mean by too much?
They turned the characters up to 11 and I don't like
Yeah, well, I guess it's like, I mean, like, there's character development there, but it's like, the author also wants to run some heavy, like, these are the pranks we get up to with the girls, haha, like, kind of thing. So I guess that part was a little bit emphasized, a little bit too much.
It's getting a little weird because it's not it's much different from season 1, at least for the first episode. Quick rundown. Aho Girl didn't really like it that much.
But what
and
are you
I also
saying,
watched
Dark?
Restaurant to Another World.
Isekai Shibudo.
Oh, that's out. Oops.
Wait, Toast, what you're saying about Aho Girl?
Why don't you like it, Dark? It is the sleeper hit of the season.
Because the comedy is pretty fucking basic, and you can see every joke coming from a mile away, and bananas really aren't that funny.
That's
It's like she's an aho.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, Hiroyuki, I mean, okay, let's be real. I mean, like, again, I'm not gonna dump on Hiroyuki too much because he does scratch a certain itch for certain audiences. I'm not gonna say that's me because it's really not. I didn't really.
Are you sure? Are you sure it's not you? Because
it's like a guilty pleasure. Yeah.
That's
a lot of
so
people.
me.
Yeah.
it is so me.
But this is the man who literally, I think his like Dojin avatar is like a pair of panties. Like, I'm not even kidding.
Yeah, it is.
It's like, it's that sort of dude. So, like,
Are you telling me you haven't read his pretty good Saber Dojins near
God,
and Spire?
I think,
Me
yeah,
too.
no, I've read the Saber Dojins, believe me. But
You're saying those aren't funny?
but his jokes are very like straight punches to the face, and after some points you're just like, okay, I've had enough punches to the face, kind of thing going on, right? Like, so Aho Girl is like a dumbed down version of Mangaka-san for anybody that's seen Mangaka-san or read it, and that's a pretty low bar already. So yeah, I can understand.
Is that like Man Girl?
Yeah, so sort of. Man Girl deserves like an 8 out of 10 just for the title alone. But Mangaka-san is very, very like straightforward. It's like I don't even know how to describe it. It's like one like, prank slash gag kind of thing would be like, so
Just a prank, bro.
yeah, the mangaka is like drawing or whatever, and like the assistant is like helping, and mangaka just turns to the assistant and he would be like one example would be like, oh, for my drawing practice, show me your panties or whatever, something like that, right? And then the girl like slaps him or does whatever violence, right? Like slapstick violence, and that'll be like sort of one section of like the one like chapter ish of like the comedy, and like like. I mean, leaving aside like
The assistant has a name, Spire. It's Ashizu-san.
Oh yeah, it's Ashisu. I
Which
forgot.
sounds
Sorry.
just like assistant son, if you
Yeah.
listen closely.
Oh, I didn't notice that actually. Thanks.
Wow. See, you don't
You
get
know,
the
I don't get
jokes.
it.
You just
Yeah,
don't
I
get
don't
the
get the
joke.
parody. Yeah, I just don't get the joke. But it's very very like straightforward stuff like that. It's like Seitokai Yakundomo, but even simpler. So it's like Aho Girl is like 2 levels down. Mangaka-san is like Seitokai dumbed down, and Aho Girl is Mangaka-san dumbed down. So it's like it's kind of a struggle. You know what I mean? Like you can sort of like respect the straightforwardness of it, but then you also lose like 5 IQ points trying to like watch it. So yeah.
I guess.
Sounds like a classic.
What I got is I'll just say this. I mean, I don't think it's funny, but I still watch it.
I understand the type of
Why?
humor they're driving for, but I just don't really appreciate as much.
It's pretty much the voice cast is carrying that anime.
You say that, but like
Aoyuki and what's his face?
Sugita,
Yeah, they're really carrying their roles.
you say they're carrying it, but Sugita, this might be one of the very few roles where I don't think he's really doing anything.
Exactly.
He's just there and he's talking.
It's like, wow, Sugita's in this anime. I must watch it. And it's like,
Yeah, yeah.
okay, he's doing a really good, like he's doing his thing. It's really good. Aoyuki's doing her thing really well too, and that's about it.
Yeah.
That's
It's like
all.
he's
They're
not,
just
he's
kind of
not
being
really like
themselves.
doing a voice or anything. He's just there.
Yeah.
No, it's like Kana Hanazawa in her natural environment, right? Where it's like
Man,
I
Yeah,
gotta
more
agree
more
with
on
that.
that later.
It's like, it's-
no. Let me. I'm not just pulling up this analogy to me. Like I'm actually saying like because it's like
Whatever,
her
dude.
natural environment, right? Yeah, because it's her natural environment. She's just kind of being herself. It's like that with Sugita.
Yeah.
And
And Aoyuki, she's like, hey, she's playing this crazy girl, like she sounds just like Futaba in Persona 5, except crazier.
yeah,
I'm totally gonna check this out. And it's like, yeah, it works.
yeah. I think that's the thing, where it's like they're just kind of in their natural environment, and it kind of works out.
And if it wasn't them, this anime probably wouldn't be as popular as it is.
Oh no,
That's what I gotta say.
Aho Girl will be like, like 500 BDs like period for the entire like year, BD sales. So
Better than one.
yeah, okay, so
One banana.
gotta set those goals.
yeah, okay, so that was a long tangent, but that was pretty much what Dark had watched, right? And then as for me, I kind of was in weird shit. Like the last like 1 or 2 weeks there was kind of weird for me, and I was kind of running around doing stuff. But I did manage to watch a little bit of Nanamaru Sambatsu. I watched Koito Uso with Dark here, which again we'll be talking about in a bit later. Love and Lies, whatever.
Did you watch that NTR show? I don't even
Yes.
remember the
I
name,
did watch Netsuzo Trap NTR.
but I heard it's 10 minutes.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it too much. And then I also did watch Made in Abyss. I do plan on watching like all these other series that Tuss and the others mentioned pretty soon because I do want to watch them. But yeah. And I had kind of like a blackout with media blackout kind of thing, which explains why our podcast was delayed. For those of you who are tuning in through the recordings and stuff, we're doing this day late, so.
Weren't you just sleeping yesterday? Because I was sleeping yesterday.
No, I was in like a 24+ hour like communications blackout, so I was not sleeping.
Did you get lost in the? Did you get transported to a different
to
world?
another world, yes, with my smartphone. That wasn't working.
Nice transition.
Yeah.
I was watching Melty.
But yeah, I also there's been a lot of like visual novels coming out, and there will be also more visual novels, a lot of more visual novels coming out now, since like the bottleneck is loosening up bit by bit. But I did go through Libra of the Vampire Princess, which I'll probably talk about a little bit in my shoutouts, callouts, or something, some other stuff. It's like serviceable, whatever. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And I do want to talk a little bit more about, the series I haven't gotten to yet. So with
How
that
can
in
you
mind,
talk about it if you haven't watched it?
well, I can talk about
Sure.
it because I've read it, and this specific series I'm talking about uh, is a web novel. Well, I think no, yeah, no, it started off as a light novel, I think. So a light novel adaptation, or light novel original adapted into anime,
Let
and it's
let me
called
let me let me guess the title right now.
what is it?
It is. Oh damn! I forgot the name.
Sick.
I just closed the tab. Hold on.
Always? Are we there yet?
Here we go.
Alright.
Isekai make you date. No, that's not it. That's a different one.
That's not. It's no. It's not labyrinth.
Ah.
It's not. It's not fucking slave harem with labyrinth. No, that's not even out yet, right? That's not-
Yeah, sure.
yeah, yeah.
Sure.
No, that's not it. The series we're talking about is
I
Knights of
can't
Magic.
pronounce it, but something.
No, we can pronounce it. Toast it.
There we go. Slave harem in the labyrinth of
That's
the
exactly
other
the
world.
series I just talked about.
Oh no,
Oh
but
my
there was a different series I was going to talk about with another slave harem.
All right. Well, it is not slave harem in another labyrinth, or sorry, it's not slave harem in the labyrinth of another world. Which was actually interesting because in the English translation, I think because they're adapting the light novel, they're localizing the light novel into English, right? If I remember correctly, or they make the anime of it. They actually took out the slave part, and then just they did like the labyrinth of another world. Probably because.
Probably because of the fucking
Yeah, no, I
connotation of
understand
that.
why they did. Yeah, exactly. Where blah, blah, blah. But anyways, that aside, that is not the series we want to talk about. The series we do want to talk about is Knights and Magic. The apostrophe
The heck is that?
between the T and the S for some reason. It's a possessive. I don't know
They
why.
own the ampersand. That's
Yeah.
the Knights. It's the Knights ampersand, dude.
Yeah, Knights and Magic. But anyways, it is a light novel original, and I forget who it's by, but that doesn't really matter. Anyways,
Some guy.
yeah, some dude. Anyways, Dark and Toast have both watched the anime, and I believe Toast has also read up bits of the light novel. So you two take it away.
All right. It's a show.
You want to tell
It's not
give a
gonna
quick
come. All
premise
right,
here?
no. So basically, it starts off really quick in the anime. Like it makes nothing of the backstory, which is nice because who the fuck cares?
But the backstory to
It's
every isekai is very important, Dark.
it's a born again in another world thing scenario. So it's like, who cares?
So it's shit.
No,
Isekai,
it's
already
that means
garbage.
It's the anti fucking, it's the anti Konosuba.
It's the yeah. Okay, can we talk about this a little
Sounds
bit?
pretty deep.
I just want to talk about this so I don't have to call it out. But what the fuck is this like? Dark and Years like was telling me about these fucking Crunchyroll tweets. It's like, what was it like? Made in Abyss is like the new Monica, or like Isekai
No,
smartphone.
that wasn't Crunchyroll. That's just like a common thing people keep saying. For some
Really?
reason.
That's so
That's just something
like.
people say.
That's so me.
And then what is it? It's like Isekai smartphone is like the anti Konosuba. Like what?
I know. Like, what does that even mean?
It's like they're not even like parallel or like anti-parallel or anything. But they're literally just like in different directions. Like it's just Mad Libs now. People are just like, X anime is the new or anti or the spiritual successor to some other random anime. Like Koito Uso is the new anti-Clannad. Like what the fuck does that even mean? Like
What does that even mean?
The spiritual successor to the anti-Clannad.
Yeah,
What is an anti-clonade?
yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
What the fuck is an anti-Konosuba mean? Like these people.
Like
But,
the anti-clonade would have to be at most.
nobody dies from fever. Nobody dies from disease.
It would have to be something like Oh my god! I can't even remember
It's like a
the
basketball
name.
series where nobody dies. It's like everybody's immortal. Everybody
Fire,
can play basketball.
what's your favorite key series again?
My
Why?
favorite key series, it's Little Busters.
There you go. That's the anti-clonade.
Yeah, exactly. You're right.
Huh?
I can support that statement. It's the Little Busters is the anti-Clannad. Let's go with that. Anyway,
You heard it
I
here
mean,
first.
Love and Lies has nothing to do with clonade at all. The premises are even different.
Anyway,
Fundamentally different. Is that why it's anti?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Alright,
Fundamentally
anyways,
different on a scientific level.
alright, we need to move on. We need to move on.
Speaking of fundamentally different on a scientific level,
Yes, we need to
Nice.
move on to the next
building gunpla and scripting and piloting robots with magic are somehow not in this series. But yeah, so a guy is a coder, like a scripter in real world. They
Programmer.
don't really say, programmer. They don't really say for what, but he
He's
just
a
writes.
hacker.
He's just a programmer. And on his way home from work, he decides to stand in the middle of the street in the rain and let a car run him over.
Yeah,
Nice.
just casually die. as
Just
you do.
just like me.
Because he sure as shit, for in the anime, he sure as shit does not get hit by it involuntarily, because he has about a solid 20 seconds to get out of the way.
Maybe he
20
was admiring
seconds.
his gunpla, you know?
Let
let me
me
sit
Sitting there
Let
thinking
him
about
stand in the middle
gunpla.
of the street, yeah.
But yeah, so he gets hit by a car, and then he gets reborn as a little trap boy in a world with magic robots.
That's me.
Totally.
And then he sees the robots for the first time, and he wants to be a robot pilot, because who wouldn't want to be a robot pilot if they obsessed with gunpla when they were not dead?
Kriegasm.
So
Shinji.
then for so then forget that he goes, oh well, I guess I died, so who cares about that? Moving on now. I guess I'm a
Yeah.
kid. Moving on.
I mean,
Move on,
that's like a
next
casual
question.
isekai thing where it's like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm a baby? Yeah, alright, time to live a new life now.
Well, he's not even a baby. He's like
No,
5 years
yeah,
old.
yeah,
So
Like,
he
he was
also
not, like, conscious of his growth until he,
took
like, became
over a
5 years old. Yeah, possessed 5-year-old.
You're mine now.
So then he starts training in magic because he's told that he needs to know magic to pilot the robot. And then they do a 3-year time jump, I think, immediately. Because, like, fuck it,
Yeah.
whatever, get to school.
They just need him to be OP, like, as soon as
yeah.
possible. Yeah.
So then he's in, like, school and whatnot, and that's pretty much where the series takes on from, is him being in school and piloting, well, not piloting a robot yet because he's too short.
Mhm.
So yeah, and that's where episode 2 gets, is he pilots a robot, and he's like, wow, this is just like coding.
Yeah.
And that's
I
all you
mean,
get
what?
from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the gen-
Don't talk. Don't.
Yeah, the general idea, the isekai part, that is, or the another world part of this general story, is just the standard one. Rather, he is a small kid. He's a small young kid, but since he has the mind and of an older man of like another world, he can use those smarts and talents and whatever and his training because he had discipline, having an older mind and a younger body, to he can use his talents to seem OP. He surprises people who don't think he's OP by being OP, and then he gains fame, money, riches, all the things, women, whatever.
Who cares? What are you liar, Spy? He doesn't care about riches. He cares about building.
No.
the
I'm
best
not saying he
robot
cares
to-
about it. He gets it. I never said he cares about it, but he gets it. That's like how the isekai thing works, right? It's like they give him all this like money and whatever, fame, blah blah blah. But because they are modest Nipponese people, they're like, no, we cannot accept this, or like, I don't really care about this kind of thing. And the king's like, what?
Just
What?
give me more robots.
Yeah, but yeah, that's essentially how the isekai portion of it goes. And the sort of unique part of it, quote unquote, of Knights of Magic is how the author sort of dwells on the gunpla / mecha parts, right? You guys want to continue on that? Or Dark?
I haven't gotten up to that part yet. They didn't
Yeah.
do it. He didn't
Alright.
build his robot, but
He's not going to build his robot for a while.
yeah, it's going to be a bit. But what they do, a point that I wanted to cover was what I mentioned before that made Nier go what, was the whole like way they try and tie in scripting.
Mhm.
Is probably like the really only problem I have with the series. I think it's good fun as like an action series and like adventure,
Mhm.
but they try and tie in scripting in the most half-assed ways I think I've ever seen.
Yeah,
ever.
just like what I said before the podcast, right?
Yeah, because like at one point he tears out the controls of a robot and he's like, I'm going to control it directly with magic. This is just like coding.
This is just like my C++ classes.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't know about that.
Just like coding, when you rip open your PC and tear out some parts.
And you
And then you go to
directly
Notepad.
control it with your mind.
It's more like a processor, not really
Yeah.
coding. That's the
Yeah.
problem. You're probably
Because
Yeah,
saying.
the justification is that it's like, oh, you
Look at
you
rewrite
basically
the magical
tell it what to
formulas.
do with magic.
Yeah, it's like
And it's
rewriting
like,
the magical
okay,
formulas.
you can justify saying it's just like coding with a lot of things then.
The weird thing is, and this is
It's,
sorry,
it's
if I'm
not.
going-
This is just like the scripts that I use.
Yeah, no. What I'm kind of getting is like, and this is happening actually in a lot of isekai stuff. It's like this basic premise is being laid out where it's like the magic laws in this world are much more like magic scientific formulas, and you can even program them if you like, blah blah blah. And it's like mix of weird electrical engineering and computer science or whatever. And a lot of people kind of obviously haven't thought this well out, but I'm presuming sort of the subconscious reason they want to do it, or I guess the conscious reason in some senses, is because they want to create this sort of base, or quote unquote, like quasi logical idea that's like, oh, well, if there's like, if magical formulas are all like coding and whatever, and like logical, then later on we could, bullshit some stuff like, oh, because the magical formula here is,
This
has
is just
weird
like
script, like,
Yeah,
yeah.
this is just like my scripts.
yeah, it's like, because there's an error in this magical formula here, then this entire church just exploded because of that, like stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, so they kind of want to, I guess, set that up these days. But the problem is, like, none of them actually know coding. so,
You,
Um,
you're saying you have to take apart your entire computer and rebuild it by hand, including the hardware and the software, before you can make a scripting.
a scripting
Anime?
anime. Yeah, exactly. You have
Wow,
to,
that's so much work.
you have to take out you have to dissect an entire robot and then reassemble it back together. But yeah, this is a question I want to actually ask Toast. Is like, again, you've read bits and pieces of the light novel. How do you feel about the contrast between like the ratio of between how much the author covers in terms of like action, which honestly I don't think is that much. Like there's like some parts where it's like some like chapters where it's like it's concentrated on battle, but like and then like a lot of the other chapters are kind of concentrated on him just kind of in the workshop, like building stuff. You know what I mean?
The workshop stuff's better.
Yeah,
For
exactly.
me, I really like the workshop stuff. Like, hey, I can do this.
Yeah.
Like,
Like,
the
like,
action's like, okay, whatever. You can do your things with it.
Mhm.
I prefer the building stuff.
I think that's a unique. I don't necessarily. I mean, I don't think necessarily like the Knights of Magic is like a masterpiece, but I respect like that sort of ratio that the author is taking, where it's like he's focusing much more on building and development and like what he likes to talk about instead of just like, oh, I need to put in action because it's a fantasy series. Like, like you don't really need to do that, right? I mean, you could, yeah.
What studio is doing this?
Isn't it Silverlink?
I think so.
It smells like it smells like my anime research senses make me think that it's a
It's
It's
8-bit. You're completely wrong.
8-bit. Okay, never mind. I'm fucking retarded.
Damn, what an idiot.
Okay, 8-bit is the one that did rewrite last like 1 or 2 seasons ago, right? Yeah.
Oh,
And also Infinite Strato Season 2
Ah, yes, Infinite.
Oh.
This explains a lot.
and Season 1.
And season 1, yes. I mean, both. Yeah, they did.
I mean,
Infinite Strato is
and-
Studios.
And the Labyrinth of Grisaya. Did you
Ah,
not watch that?
well, Labyrinth of Versailles anime was. I don't want to talk about it too much. Anyways, so anyway, any sort of overall words or any last words on the series? Toast Stark.
Still good. I'll keep watching it.
Okay.
The CG for the robots kind of lackluster, but I didn't really come into that when I see robot fights.
Okay. And then Dark.
I'm sorry, I missed the question.
Any last words on Knights of Magic?
It's got cute boys that look like girls. You know,
Cute boys. being
there's a
hugged by
robot.
girls on each side, but he's not
I
interested
don't
in
know.
them.
I'd like to see more like world building in it, and I don't know if I'm gonna get that because they introduced like the dwarf character and stuff, and it's like, well, I kind of want to see more of that kind of stuff. If there's gonna be like if there's like different races of people, but no like outright complaints really, and I'm definitely gonna wind up sticking with it because it's entertaining at the very least in a good way.
Just one quick question. Before we head off into next year's. Again, Toast and I just quickly briefly discussed the sort of ratio of like, mech building, being in the workshop stuff to action content.
I mean, the driving plot of the series is like
He wants to work on robots.
He wants to build his own robot.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on that? Knowing that that might be more up on the horizon, more of a focus.
I think that's fine. I think the one thing that makes me a little worried is I've seen, like in the OP, they have, I guess, the mech that he builds, and it at one point goes to space, and it's in space, and it looks like a fucking juiced up Gundam, and I'm like, don't know about that. I'd much rather.
Why not, dude?
Because I'd much rather have it stay like a big bulky knight and not be a Gundam, because this isn't Gundam.
It's a custom job, man. You ever watch a Gundam Build Fighters?
Yeah, but this is like a fantasy show, and I'd rather not have like funnels and shit.
They don't stay pure to the aesthetic design of Gundams. They go their own custom route, man.
Does his robot have vents?
Yeah, pretty much.
It also has
towards the end.
It also has sub arms.
Nice.
Yeah, so like I mean, it looks cool, but I'm like, I don't really know if I'm gonna be more into that than I would have just being like a juiced up knight robot thing.
It's not a knight, it's a Gundam.
It's a Gundam. Okay, so anyways.
One last question, Dark. You like his magic staff?
Oh, the gun? It's like, what if we just made these magic staffs guns instead? And then for some reason they don't implement those with everyone yet.
It's not just
that's always how it happens in Isekai. It's like, no, that's always how the gun stuff happens.
The gun blade.
Because it's like they never implement it with everybody either, because the author just kind of forgets it plot wise. He's just like, oh, guns, they happen, and then like later on, he just forgets it.
It's a gun blade though.
It's or
like 3 people have it.
No, or what happens is like he's just like, this gun is too dangerous. We can't spread this technology around or something.
It's more like only he could handle it, and he only
he can handle it. 3 other people use it.
That's because they're his those are his friends.
It's like, yeah, but anyways, that sort of like isekai gun thing always happen. Like especially these days where like every isekai is like a feudal kind of thing because fucking people are lazy. Does it really count
as a gun? I mean, like the staff form is what shoots stuff, and that's the gun.
Some long range explosive device involving a shot out projectile given burst of magical and or physical gas powers.
And it also has a sword for melee combat.
Yeah, but I mean
couldn't you technically call any staff a gun?
No, because the reason why they made it is because it shoots better.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, it's more accurate, it shoots better, it has more range.
It shoots better because it has a barrel.
This is fucking retarded.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a gun.
Exactly. It's a gun, dude. Anyway.
It's a gun blade.
Whatever.
The concept of a gun blade is something we can discuss.
There's a blade involved or whatever, but the point is it's part of it.
It sucks in PSO too.
Yeah. But anyways, that isekai gun kind of thing will always happen these days in isekai series. And it's honestly kind of tiring, especially since it doesn't really get used as like abusively as it should when it is introduced. But what can you do? There are these authors. Anyways, again, thank you, Tuss and Dark, for the reviews. And again, if you do like this sort of like more mecha building isekai, I mean, it is like an isekai basic, and I know some people are kind of like repulsed by that already. Believe me, you guys are going to see, this is not even the tip of the isekai iceberg. Like, in a year or two, you guys will be like, man, I wish there were only this many isekai series. I'm not kidding. So, if you're okay with the isekai based premise and you want to go into you want to
You-
look at it a little bit more with a focus on like mecha, like robot building stuff like that, then check this thing out, I guess. But don't expect too much.
Isekai was dead.
Yeah.
If you like
Uh,
Gundam Build Fighters, you might like this series.
Okay, so
Or
Huh?
damn, what was
Or
the show
what?
called?
Nice.
It was the one. It was the one where I got Stilets camo in PSO2. Why can't I remember the title?
Oh,
Frame Arm Girls. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know about
Frame
Frame
Arm
Arm
Girls,
Girls.
right.
They really didn't build anything in that show except for like twice. So no, not, not
okay, so frame arm girl. With that, from that we'll transition on to the next show again.
please.
Yeah, this one is one we'll be releasing VODs of this soon. Or well, yeah, VODs or and MP3s of this soon. It's actually a thing that Dark and I watched together like live, and did like a live reaction to again.
Wow.
First
Why
OPS,
didn't you invite Nier and I?
because Dark was on at the moment, and we were just like, fuck it, let's just do this, and it wasn't very good, anyways. But
See, Nier, we should make our own podcast. They don't invite us to anything.
the 2-player.
How do you feel about that, Nier?
With toast.
I don't know. I don't know how long I could last toast.
It puts a strain on Year's body. It's like the fusion puts on a strain on Year's body. Anyways, the series I wanted to talk about is one that I think a lot of people will be talking about as one of like the sort of super deep romantic complex series of the season. Blah blah. It also used to be like the Orange from like a few seasons ago. And the series I am talking about is, of course, Love and Lies, also known as Koi to Uso in Japanese.
The anti-clanade in Japanese.
Yes, the anti-clonage. That is exactly
Roughly translates.
roughly. Oh Jesus! It is done by Leiden Films, and it is, I believe, it is a manga original. So the basic premise is that it's set in Japan, school life kind of stuff. So marriage is assigned by the government, like marriage partners and everything is assigned by the government at a young age to certain people, and they just have to get married. That and doing so otherwise, having romantic like whatever affairs outside of that marriage is forbidden. Blah blah blah. But then, of course, the MC and the main heroine fall in love with each other, but then MC gets assigned to another girl, and this like love triangle stuff begins. So that's more or less how it goes. And then the romance thing comes out. The MC has a sidekick, a cool sidekick or whatever, and they probably all work together to solve their relationships with the power of determination, youth, and love, and say fuck the police. Well, also with the power of determination, youth, and love. Again, Dark and I watched episodes 1 and 2. If you want to chime in at any point, Dark, you can. But it's fuck you. You want to like?
You the description you gave makes this sound like it's some fucking dystopian future.
You would think, wouldn't you?
It certainly sounds like it.
So
In the future, where
In the future, love is forbidden.
lies are doubly or it's like no, literally
it's more like the upcoming future for Japan, considering they're not reproducing at all. So
Yeah.
they're like, we're gonna force you to do this.
That doesn't really
work
matter.
though.
the English the description, the English description actually reads, and I'll just say this after everyone you say it's like in the future, like lies are forbidden and love is doubly forbidden or something like that.
Punishable by death.
Yeah. So is the main girl inside the BBM?
I
If only that
believe
was
the
case.
tag is DILF.
Anyways, so again, the flow of the series is this general sort of love triangle thing. The two love each other, but then other girls come into the equation, and the whole like other the reason why the girl the love triangle is forced upon them is because of outside forces, whether it's family, peers, government, stuff like that. And the ending seems pretty standard, like the path, because like we already know what's going to happen, right? The beginning is going to be obviously them meeting together. This is what we know. We've literally watched this, and the ending is obviously going to be the youth, the MC, going out with the main heroine, while the other girl sits and cries, because through the power of youth, determination, and love, he managed to say, "Fuck my family, fuck the police." I'm gonna go out with her because love, right?
And he
And that's what's
breaks
gonna
that
happen.
poor girl's heart.
Haha. And then, and the only problem is like what happens in the middle, right? And like the ending is already kind of like mediocre enough, so I'm just like, well, whatever. Like, but what I'm gonna say about Koitoisu, and I don't want to get too many specifics, like spoilers or anything like that, is that it's falling into a lot of the standard traps that we already see in like these sorts of love triangle, directed by a third party, forced by a third party kind of thing, and a lot of the character interactions are kind of whack. Like the comedy part of it is decent, when they do like slapstick or when they do like gags or whatever, but the way the characters interact to create drama, the way the characters are set up to create drama, the way the characters are just like, oh, I'll do this so that later on, I'll like romance will bloom, love will bloom in my heart, like shit like that. It's more or less pretty obvious. Like there are like small variations in how they say these things that surprised me, but like beyond that, I was just like, oh, well, obviously, like this is going to happen, and it did happen. So, yeah, I gotta say I'm not too impressed by Love Lies at all, and I don't think it'll end up being a real surprise at all. And add that to the fact that the main heroine is another quiet schoolgirl, Kana Hanazawa, making what seems to be edoge noises half the time when she's like kissing somebody. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. It's not that exciting. Dark.
Yeah, I mean, it falls. The thing is, like, I would say it's better than I expected, but it's not really saying much because I expected it to be really, really bad. But it falls into certain love triangle things. Like, it seems like it might be predictable, but as of right now, I mean, the fact that the girl who he gets assigned to marry, like, she kind of starts to like him towards the end of episode 2, but at the same time, she wants him to. She's like trying to be like a matchmaker type person to him and Kana Hanazawa's character.
Uh-huh.
So I wasn't really expecting that. So I'm curious to see where that goes. Probably not.
Oh wait, the
enough to keep
matchmaker.
watching it.
Wait, you thought it was you thought the matchmaker was a little bit unexpected?
Well, yeah, for me, I thought it was just going to be basic love triangle bullshit where one of them was going to be like, well, we have to get married. And then the other one was going to be like, well, I love you, though.
No. That's not going to be it. Because it's like, you knew the girl was like, I mean, even from the like the basic like premise or the basic like trailer stuff like that, you knew like the pink haired girl who was like the non whatever girl, right? Was
I think I watched trailers.
You think I watched stuff beforehand?
I didn't watch trailers. I went in blind.
I mean, even when you initially saw like the girl or whatever, and she was just like, "Fucking, like, why are you even like trying to set up this marriage or whatever? You're just a blob, like all that, like all these and stuff like that." It was going to be that sort of similar pattern where it's like at first she's like all like touchy and like you're kind of like, I don't see anything like good in you or whatever. But then they like have all these experiences and they try to like, devise specific plans so the MC and the hero can hook up, and like while they're enjoying, devising all these plans and they spend time with each other, slowly the girl's just like, man, I wish I could do that with the MC too. Haha. And then that's like,
well, I fully expect that now.
Yeah.
But wasn't sure. I think its comedy is pretty serviceable. Like they're trying
Yeah.
trying to do something. So that's admirable, I guess.
I guess that works.
It is super weird because, like Nier said, like the way this series goes, like it should be a dystopian for all intents and purposes.
Yeah,
But in
so
the beginning, like the MC is talking mad shit about the government, how he's never gonna get married, and all the kids in the
that's
classroom.
sidekick. That's like one of the sidekicks, right? That was like, "What? I'm never ever going to get married."
Well, then they're all like that.
Yeah, and then they
some
all like
reason
come in
that's
for the high
not,
five
like,
or something. Like that.
blasphemous and shit.
Yeah, I'm just like, and we were both just like, isn't that illegal to say that?
Yeah, so it's very inconsistent with its like whole people get forced married and stuff like that. And it's like,
Yeah,
well, how serious is it?
Yeah, the power level of the third party like affecting the love triangle is very serious, and that's actually very important because the third party forcing the love triangle is what creates tension. Because if the MC could literally just do whatever he wanted, all it would boil down to is like that like one misunderstanding arc, right? Like, oh, I was seen with another girl, it's a misunderstanding, and then as soon as that was solved, it would be kind of over, right? But because this whole like third party effect is there, it's so that's very important. And just going off of this real quick, I was actually again talking about this with you in the live reactions thing, where it's like I really, really, really don't appreciate it when these like drama like love thing, or like even just like two like Romeo and Juliet situation where like the couple is getting pulled apart kind of thing is done by like a third party. Like, all right, guys, like when we've seen it like a couple of times, it's pretty much enough. Like we've all gone through Romeo and Juliet shit. Like we don't need this like third party like monolithic thing. Like I really don't like it when there's like a third monolithic like power like affecting personal relationships, and they have to be very, very powerful to affect personal relationships, right? And I really don't like when that happens, because if they're powerful enough to affect personal relationships, then they're clearly just powerful enough to kind of just fuck with the plot whenever they want. And the rest of the series is essentially like the important parts of the series is essentially just going to be them more or less fighting against that power, right? Whether it's, I'm gonna ride my bicycle through this night street in Japan trying to find the main heroine so I can tell her no, I rejected the government, blah blah blah, like all that shit, or whether it's something else.
Put to death tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm being put to death tomorrow, but I rode to you on this rusty bike. Haha, look at the seaside, like all that bullshit, right? So it's very. I really, really don't like third-party effects in personal relationship, like interaction kind of thing, like government, like family, rich family looking down and stuff like that, because it's way too arbitrary. It's way too, like the author's hand can be clearly be seen in like the plot. You know what I mean? It's like, well, it's time to create some tension. Okay, here comes the rich dad. The rich dad's like, no, my girl will never date you, stuff like that, and you're just like, really? Like really? So yeah, I don't know. What did you think of sort of how the development with the second girl went out? This is one we actually got some chuckles out of, right?
What do you mean? Wait, which girl?
The development between the second girl, the marriage girl, and the MC.
I'm not sure where you're going with this, Fire. I'm not sure where you're going with it. I mean, I thought it was like
like the sudden like the guy's just like, oh man, like everything in my life like has been developed because of the main hero, and then he meets the other girl, and he's just like, wow,
oh
she's hot.
yeah,
And then
he just goes like, yo, shit, too. Oh shit.
Yeah. And then he just goes along with whatever he says or whatever, like
yeah,
like,
it's a little weird.
yeah. Because it's like that's also sort of like the get out of jail free pass, right? Where it's like when you're just like, okay, well, why wouldn't he just devote 100% of his efforts from now on to just liking the main hero and just going out with her, and it would be solved in however many episodes, right? But now it's like this whole like, oh, but this girl is hot too, like it's like, like
what a dilemma.
Yeah, I know. I'm just like, isn't this exactly the sort of thing that people always complain about, where it's like, oh, guys, the anime dudes are just making out with like the super hot girls in his harem or whatever it is, right? Like, like not like body shaming, but some other fucking bullshit, right? Like, like, is this really the lesson we want to teach our children? Is I guess what I'm saying. Like,
Damn, I really like this hot girl. But now I'm getting married to this other hot girl.
exactly.
And now I have to choose.
Like,
Cue Seinfeld theme.
yeah, I know. I can't believe there are two hot girls.
There's more than one.
But yeah, it's very like,
It's so relatable.
yeah, it's so relatable. It's very like hand wavy in that sense, and it's hand wavy in parts that clearly shouldn't be, because those are the points that set up, the tension. Those are the points that set up how this interaction will grow, the speed of the interaction grow. So I really don't appreciate it when they do stuff like that. Honestly.
What is the
No,
actual
overall 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
what is the actual punishment?
I don't know,
We
but
don't
like
know.
you
get
want
sent,
to
you get
tell them.
sent to another world.
Yeah,
Word.
tell them about like the government admin that thing. Actually, wait, let me ask this question first. Sorry. Okay, so Ritsu's in chat says, question Spire. With the in real life government coming in and shafting Akisora, Orimakana's model plot is 35. Fuck you, dude. Akisora deserved it in a sense, because Akisora went a little bit far sometimes. Like, it literally was like half hentai, so, or half nudes. But although like the series was interesting, like I appreciated where the series went. Oreima was not. Well, Oreima was less of a monolithic, like, the author fighting against the government, and more of an author being corrupted by government. So tag female corruption kind of thing, or tag male corruption kind of thing. So there's a difference. The male, yeah. So yeah, I think Oreima is a different story. Anyways, Dark, go on with the government doing whatever.
Oh yeah, so so the whole thing is like, oh, you get your marriage partner on your 16th birthday,
Uh-huh.
and the main protagonist gets his marriage partner on his birthday, but the way it happens is that his first of all, he's waiting in a park for the main heroine for like 6 hours, and she doesn't show up after he
Mm-hmm.
her. So
Exactly.
that's fun. And for
So
some
when
reason,
when he asks her, like, hey, why, or like when she like arrives, she's like, sorry, I was a bit late because I
Yeah.
didn't know whether I should come at all or not. I'm just like, that's not an excuse to leave someone hanging for 5 hours.
well, I mean, at the same time, her first thought should have been, "Why were you here for 5 hours? You fucking
Exactly.
loser." But after that, they make out and stuff, and it's midnight. Midnight strikes, and 2 government agents find him in the park and go,
exactly.
"Here is your." Well, first he gets a push notification to his phone that's like, "Yo, here's your marriage partner" in an email.
And the
then
marriage partner is
then
the main hero, by the way.
Yeah, the main heroine. He's like, "What? That's insane!" And then his phone like bugs out and glitches and like dies or something. He's
And by the way,
"But I
like
had
the bug out
email."
is literally like Recreator's bug out. Like,
It's like everything pixelates and shit. So I'm wondering where that's going in general.
Oh, my phone blue screened. Look at that.
Yeah, there goes my email. I guess. So they hand him a paper, and he goes, "Wait, this is a different person. This is the one I got in the email."
and then they're like, you got
And
to
they're
check
like,
the paper.
"Yeah, but this is the right one then." Which already is like, why would the paper copy?
Why would
be
the
right
electronic
one?
records be wrong? Yeah.
Why would the electronic record be wrong?
Isn't that what you store it in? Like,
But so he gets that, and then also, how did these government agents hunt him down to a park at 12 o'clock at night?
yeah, I know, they're like Men in Black shit. It's like it's really fucking.
Everyone's got those little GPS chips in their skin.
Yeah.
It's how you know if you're not with your marriage partner. So that happens, and that's stupid.
Again,
really no other way around that.
yeah, the point of the two guys coming instead of just like an email notification or whatever, because usually people just send it through email, right? Like a lot of important government things because they just don't have time, right? But the whole like point of the two guys appearing, or like the girl and the boy or whatever, appearing in the anime, and I guess the two guys appearing in the manga specifically, because they changed the people around a bit, is specifically to show the sort of force of authority, right, from the third party, from the government, right? It's my, like, I'm 80% sure, 89% sure. It's like, I mean, unless the author is just fucking retarded slash lazy, he's just like, yeah, I'll just show that the government can't be fucked around with by sending these two people, right? So if they, disobey the government, then these, men in black are gonna catch them and throw them in jail for like somebody else, I guess, like that sort of thing, right? So obviously, if you think about it from that perspective, it's very heavy-handed, right? Like,
Yeah.
again, I don't like those sorts of lazy show of force, where it's like the author's just like, well, this is what happens when the MC doesn't shut up. He gets punched in the mouth. Like, you can find better ways around that.
Yeah, definitely. Overall, it's something. It's weird because, like, I'm kind of curious to see where it goes, but at the same time, I also don't fucking care.
Yeah, I think it's going to be relatively predictable. But the problem is, it's just like people, and again, this is the problem with where it's like we have this entire like discussion over and over again, both in and out of this podcast. But it's like people are gonna try to make so much out of like little actions, right? Where it's like, oh, the girl like sitting at the bench means that she is contemplating her sad like life or whatever, and the lies theme means blah blah blah, and it's like at the end of the day, if there's like a predictable love triangle, you gotta call a hoe a hoe, right? Like you gotta call a shovel, and you just gotta be like, okay, well, this is just a predictable love triangle. The author is not that clever, and the series wasn't that good. But what I'm afraid of is that people are going to be like, no, this is a really complex drama with these themes about loves and the lies, and you just don't understand. And it's going to be like another painful discussion that we didn't really have to go through. So I'm just really kind of fearful of that.
But Spire, what if he marries the girl he's supposed to marry? Like 5 years later, he divorces her. And then they go back to the club room,
Hagana?
and they all go, let's be friends.
You think the government allows
And then the author's like, tricked you.
I tricked you.
Oh, yeah. It was my plan all along.
We spent 12 volumes on this. It was my plan all along.
Fucking baited, baby.
The moment where he said I broke up, and then he breaks up with her and goes back, I was just like, I know where this is going. Oh my god. I fucking hate authors that do this stuff. Like, I'm not gonna say this exactly because I think the author is honestly just being lazy and kind of stupid instead of literally just being like petulant, which is worse than just being stupid, right? Where it's like the Haganite is just like, yeah, I did a stupid ending, but it was all my plan. I tricked you, like whatever. Like, but well, we'll see if the makers of the series can surprise us, but I don't think it will. Dark, any last words?
I'd say maybe give it a shot if, like, I don't know, kind of into that shit.
Yeah.
If you're just looking for something, might be all right.
Yeah.
It's not as bad as I thought it would be.
Yeah, we were actually both surprised. It's not like
offensive,
completely like trash. Like, okay, like these people aren't even trying, kind of thing. Like they're trying, but they're still falling into these like stereotypical traps. The major problem. So, again, we'll have to see. We'll have to see how it goes. So, on to, actually, we don't have time for this. Fuck it. I was about to say on to, but
What did you watch, Nier?
yeah, here. You want to talk about Made in Abyss? We should actually no, we should talk about Made in Abyss because I think people are gonna actually bring it up more and more guys.
We got time for
Yeah,
it.
and we need to fucking slap this down before it goes anywhere.
It's
So what do you think about Made in Abyss? What studio did Made in Abyss?
It's a good question.
Kinema Citrus, the people who did
Sentai film.
yeah so Kinema Citrus did Ama Ama to Inazuma, right? Sweetness and Lightning or something like that. And then
They also did Kumamiko, man.
I think they also did.
Barakama? Did they do
Yes.
Barakama?
Yes, they did.
Yes, and did they also do? Were they the ones that did Poco?
Yeah, I feel like they were maybe. I don't know, but
Or they might be credited on part of Poco at least.
yeah, but anyways, they did a lot of very sort of more peaceful slice of
They
life stuff.
do a lot of co-production with things. What's up with that?
I mean, there are some studios that do a lot of smaller studios that do a lot of like
That's how they
co-production.
pay the
or
bills, my
assisted
man.
production, yeah. But yeah, that's for smaller studios. But do you want to tell us a little bit more about sort of the general setup and premise?
So Made in Abyss is those stories where there's a big hole in the earth and nobody knows what's in there.
Yeah.
Journey to the Center of the Earth featuring
Yeah.
Brendan Fraser.
Yeah, just like that. Made in Abyss is one of those stories. It takes place in the city of Orth, which is a city that surrounds this big, huge hole that is in the middle of the ocean. And it's called the Abyss. And nobody knows what's at the bottom of it. And a lot of adventurers have gathered, and they go down and they find relics and stuff, like weird technology and weird relics and magic stuff. Nobody knows what it does, stuff like that. And the protagonist, which is a little girl, an orphan, because apparently in this world, when a diver dies and has a kid, they get put into the orphanage, and they're forced to become divers apparently as well.
Yeah.
So it's this sick, eternal cycle.
Slave labor. Yeah.
But yeah, the main character is doing like some training dive thing, and she wants to find the most treasures out of anybody in the class. So she digs a bunch of holes. She finds some stuff. She finds a skeleton, and she gets all spooked. And then this big monster comes and attacks her friend, and she tries to save him and distract the monster. And this big laser beam comes out of nowhere and saves her. And then she finds a robot out of nowhere. And then the story goes on from there.
Yeah,
She hides the robot from the organization that takes all these relics, which is big no-no. She's supposed to get in trouble for that.
Yeah.
But she's a rebel, so she doesn't care.
I'm a maverick. But Near, you also have read the manga original. It is a manga original, right?
Yes, this manga original. I've read what is translated, which isn't a whole lot, unfortunately.
Okay, so do you want to give us a general sort of scope of like what sort of it focuses on, like what I described for Knights of Magic, like it focuses more on like mecha, like looking through stuff, or what is it sort of trying to focus on?
So it's kind of I'd say it's sort of an adventure story, because again the main character wants to find out.
Is it like Kino no Tabi more stuff, or like what's going on there? I get this like Kino no Tabi vibe for some reason. I don't know.
It's not. I wouldn't, because Kino no Tabi is pretty episodic, right? Like it's
yeah.
She goes on an adventure, and then the adventure closes and she moves on. But this is like a big, long, overarching story. It's also not. It's not cozy. I'll say that much. It's not cozy like Kino. The show is actually quite dark. Kind of betraying its cutesy art style, which makes it the next Madoka.
It's next Madoka.
But yeah, it's mostly about getting to the bottom of the abyss, which in the second episode, the series kind of lays out that people can't really get to the bottom of the abyss because it's set up into layers, and once you get into the fourth layer, you kind of like
You
stop.
you go to hell.
Yeah, you just die. No, you stop. You like stop becoming human and stuff.
Wait, what is? Do they explain that yet, or no?
They don't really explain it. They just
So I was right. They do go to hell and
they
become
uh they
human.
call it the curse of the abyss, and it's kind of
So it
like
is some sort of weird force kind of thing, I
yeah,
guess.
it's
Yeah.
kind of like they kind of compare it to death sickness or whatever. Like when you go into the deep sea and you come back too fast, your eyes start bleeding and shit.
Yeah.
It's they compare it to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a limit to how deep people can go apparently, and they're like the elite of the elite divers and stuff. And the idea is that because the main character finds is a robot, he can go all the way to the bottom because he's not
Okay.
affected by the curse.
Oh,
So
so he is probably gonna like talk maybe a little like as he goes on. He's gonna talk a little bit like expose like the secrets of the abyss as they go down more and more.
yeah, that's kind of the idea. But
Okay.
as they go down, they find some wacky stuff and some characters. I'll say
Yeah.
that.
Some crazy
Yeah,
characters.
they find some stuff, and things don't go quite so well. And unfortunately, where the current manga is like translated, uh, it's not very far, so I can't give you like too much on how exactly the story really unfolds. But where it is right now, things aren't looking too great. So it's yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
So again, it seems like so I my predictions for this series. I haven't read the manga. Was like one is sort of what you said again, like explaining what happens as you go through the abyss, stuff like that, and it being more of like an episodic journey kind of thing. And the other one would be much more focused on character development. It's like where they don't really describe the layers of the abyss that they go through. Like what you said would have like some sort of like would provide some sort of like vague backbone, but most of the focus would be on the relationships between like the the robot boy and the girl, like the inquisitive girl as friends, her
Yeah,
backstory, all that
yeah, it's
bullshit.
more like that. Because the girl has a lot of she reads a lot about the abyss and stuff, and she has all the quote unquote trivia, the world building, I guess, and she blurts it out whenever uh the need arises, I guess. But it's not really all about like explaining
Yeah.
what the abyss is, how the abyss works, and
Mm-hmm.
what all the stuff inside is. At least not yet. It'll probably get to that eventually, but so
And
far
then
they
and
haven't
then
done that. And then
yeah, and then
it's
after
mostly
she,
focused on her and the robot exploring and seeing
uh,
like, you know, what's down there.
yeah, and then part like sometimes I'll be like, the reason why I'm so inquisitive is because my mom was the legendary diver or
Oh no,
whatever. And
don't
then
worry,
they'll
they
talk
already
She
covered
about
that.
is, yes, that's her main motivation for
no,
wanting
no,
to
no,
get,
no, I know. They'll go back to it. Is what I'm saying.
yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's her main motivation of wanting to go down into the abyss is to see, you know, what happened to her mom and stuff.
yeah. Okay, so the again, I think all of us have watched it so far, right? Um,
First episode, yeah.
yeah, at
Second
least the
episode's
first
out, but I
episode.
haven't watched it yet.
And my initial impression of this was that it kind of looks like one of those like Japanese like RPGs, like scenery porn RPG kind of stuff,
Yeah.
like Shadow of the Colossus kind of
Well,
stuff.
the first episode definitely shits out those scenery scenes. Second episode doesn't do
Yeah,
that very much.
yeah. Like even like the music and like the intro like for the first episode, I was just like, this is literally like Japanese Japanese RPG thing right
Yeah.
here. Like, when am I going to get to the first level? Like, so I thought it was pretty cool. But like, I don't know, like
Yeah,
it's
the first episode impressed me, especially with the soundtrack.
yeah,
The art
exactly.
is really nice. The art style is quite good. I hope they do the
It's like a weird like Toei animation kind of style.
yeah.
It's like
I
more like kid animation.
I do hope they I said this to Dark yesterday, I think. I do hope they because as I said earlier, the manga is quite dark. Like the story is pretty dark.
Hmm.
I hope they make the transition from okay, the cutesy art style to like the actually dark, more morbid stuff that shows up in the series, because the
Mm-hmm.
manga does it really, really well, and it
Uh,
actually has quite a haunting art style when it's trying to be dark.
um, I'm looking for the. I also like the character interactions where it's like the character interactions are pretty good. Like they talk to each other in a sensible manner, but even more so they treat what happens to them in a relatively like dry, sensible manner. Like for instance, like when robot boy wakes up. Spoiler alert. He finds out he's a robot. um,
Yeah,
so, but he's not like what. I'm a robot. What's happening to me? Like, and he doesn't like freak out, and it takes like 3 episodes just for him to like come to grips or whatever. He's just like, oh, I'm a robot. What the fuck? And then he just like does robot stuff, right?
yeah,
And I think what helps with, I think that sort of level of light reactions helps a lot in this series because this series is more about, you know, them going out to do other stuff and, seeing the world and doing whatever. It's less about them being like, I'm, I'm gonna have to come to grips with my lost mother or like the fact that I'm a robot or whatever. It's not that sort of like struggle so much as it is, them going down into the abyss and exploring it, seeing what's there, stuff like that.
yeah.
So
It's
it's
definitely
it's
an
easier
adventure
for
story. It's really
yeah,
nice.
it's easier for the lighter reactions to pass on that focus to that instead of oh, I'm a robot. What's going on? Like there's not enough time for that.
Yeah.
That's pretty good, but yeah. Um, Dark or Toast, do you have anything to add on to your your said about Maiden Abyss?
It's truly the Madoka we all
We all
needed.
deserve. You mean the
Nah,
anti-Madoka?
my one fear is just I mean near Reddit, so I'm not really concerned about it. But I was just kind of concerned when I found out more about it. Like, hopefully, it doesn't make too much of a spectacle out of bullshit where it's like, wow, character died. Characters die when they're
Yeah.
killed. Like,
Yeah.
okay, I get it. People can die. I get it. So I hope that that's not like something that's played up far too much. Because a lot of series like to do that when characters die. Because wow, characters can die. Who'd have thought? Who'd have thunk? And the art style lends itself to be that sort of bait. Basically, I just don't want people to be justified in their fucking "this is the new Monica," blah 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 bullshit in the way that they say it. So hopefully that doesn't happen. But yeah.
I will say when there are character deaths, it does like to twist the knife, but it's not
Uh,
like it's
I
not.
mean, that's okay. It's just like I don't want. Basically, I don't want something like I should explain it better. Like what's it called? Did it? Iron Gundam Iron Blooded Orphans, where it baits you over and over again. Where it's like, oh, here's 9,000 death flags. Here's a little bit of hope. Okay, no, he's dead. And here's the character die, and let's dwell on it for quite a long time, and they make a whole spectacle out of. And they do that like 20 times essentially. So it's like there's not only does it happen, but there's a lot of it. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen.
okay.
No, I will. There's not. It's not like there's a shitload. It's because IBO fucking kills its entire cast, so it's like death after death after death, and it's fucking stupid. Um, when this series kills a character, it's rare, I guess. Like it's not happening back and forth. But it does show the gore, because it likes to twist the knife. There's screaming. There's a mercy killing somewhere in there. I don't know if the anime is gonna get to that, but yeah, like I said, it likes to twist the knife, but it's not gonna make like it's not gonna. I don't think it's gonna devote an entire episode.
So Toast, do you have anything?
I thought this was a game when I first saw the trailer. I was like, is this
Yeah, exactly.
a
It's like
video
RPG.
game? No, it's
Yeah.
not. I'd be more interested if it was a game, though. I mean, it's not my thing.
Okay. All right.
I
So
like the art style is not my thing. If it befits more of a game than an anime, in my to me.
yeah, it's like somebody was just uh, like, hey, I made the storyboard and everything for the game, but then I just didn't make the game. Like, it's
So
sort
I
of like
made
that.
a manga.
Yeah. So I just made the storyboard into manga. So. Okay. So again, thanks, Nier, for the review, and any last words?
Do recommend. I
What
would.
do you?
What in specific are like the strengths of a series that you might want to recommend?
Um. Well. I mean, the art for one. The art's really nice. But I would say if you're looking for sort of a how do I word this? A fairly lighthearted, grim adventure story. Um,
But
cause
near that doesn't make no sense.
well, tough shit, retard. Um,
Damn, that's mean. I thought this was a safe space.
no.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Um, yeah, it's a good adventure story, but don't let the art style fool you because uh, the art style likes to portray itself into doing some pretty dark stuff. So it is a fairly grim story. Um, I don't know. I'm not sure if the anime is going to censor it much or not because like the manga is really kind of gory at some points. But
Well, probably then.
yeah.
I mean, there might be an uncensored BD later on, but if it
I
gets
mean,
gory, then
Drifters was uncensored TV release, so there's hope there. But I'm kind of expecting to see a good a amount of censorship at some points. But I just hope it doesn't go overboard or like
It's just
doesn't
like it's just like the robot boy like loses an arm and it's like literally all mosaics. Like his entire body's just mosaic.
or it
they don't
does
even go with the
fucking
black smear.
it
They
does
just go with
Tokyo
mosaic.
Ghoul and the entire screen is black. That was
Yeah,
that was
JoJo did that as
or
well.
it does like the cute like the thing that like fan service series sometimes do where it's like they have like a circle with like a cute animal on it or whatever, right? Or like a face on it, and then they just paste it over the entire robot.
yeah. It's just gonna have the
The
little
elephant or
the
something.
little cat thing's smug ass face over
Yeah,
all the gore.
yeah,
That'd
exactly.
be pretty good. But yeah, if you're not afraid of a fairly grim story and you do want a good adventure series, I would recommend this quite a bit.
Okay. And so watch out for that. Check out Made in Abyss, and that'll be it for that. So I guess we've covered all three series that we watched in this episode, and so we'll move quickly on to news segment. These past 2 weeks have not been that busy in terms of actual just like outside like anime adaptations coming up, game stuff coming up, whatever. But there are still a couple of interesting pieces of news. First of all, there was a little bit scandal at Anime Expo 2017. They had to comment on Anime Expo's Saturday security line fiasco. So what happened was like, usually at every anime convention these days they have like check-in line that leads into like security, so on and so forth, right? And so the lines for this on Saturday were so long that the people who had like Saturday badges, like ordered them beforehand, right? And came into the line to check in. By the time they checked in, Anime Expo was closing. Like there were people like that. So, uh,
They giving you like prostate exams on the way in? Like how well do they fucking check people? Because like I imagine more people go to like PAXs and that doesn't take as long. That takes like 20 minutes for an entire thing.
yeah. So as of yesterday, 70,000 attendees checked in and went through back check overnight. SPJ is Society for the Promotion of Japanese Animation, who runs Anime Expo. Moved to shuttle bus drop off point today. Those who have already have badges can enter along the south side of West Hall rather than front, where people can pick up the badges. So they made the current or the Anime Expo that just happened. They made it slightly easier, and they also are promising to mail badges to people in the future or like next year. But yeah, people were like complaining enough. They were just like I want refund for the Saturday day badge because I literally could not attend the expo because I was in blind, stuff like that. But they were just like, given recent world events for everybody's safety and security, there's no choice but to implement bag checks. SPGA is deeply sorry that doing so made the first day experience so difficult for many.
That doesn't sound like bag checks, though, because I know I follow people on Twitter, and I heard that getting your pass took like hours, which at that point, like, that's not bag checks. That's just bullshit. You're just fools because you haven't implemented a system that most cons have done for years.
Wasn't there news way earlier in the year that they were like planning on implementing straight up background checks?
Yeah, there are like a couple of these things. It's weird. I'm not sure how rigorous they're doing it, but I mean, it's also kind of like the organization because it's like they're based around like sort of one convention hall area, like slash center, right? So they were probably filing in people through like, I mean, they were probably splitting it up into a couple of lines like afterwards or something like that. But for the most part, like the actual like check-in and security like that, they were probably just like they had like a few lines first, and there were like 70,000 people, right? Apparently that attended. So I mean, you can't really have that for conventions like this where people are going to everybody's just kind of come in the morning and people are expected to kind of
I mean, in general, like PAX East had 80,000 people, I think, and that line could not have been there for more than an hour after the hall opened. But everyone already had their badges because they get mailed out. You don't pick them up there. There shouldn't, at a convention in general, there should just not be, oh, pick up your badge at the place. Like, no, that shouldn't be the only system, if not a system at all. Like, if that's the only system, that's a red flag right there. Because 70,000 people picking up their badges alone is going to take fucking forever.
Yeah, it's...
Because that's more than a baggage check at that point. Like, that's like you need the person's name, their order number, and all that shit. So, that's an entirely different beast.
Yeah. It's really unfortunate, again. Condolences to the people who are just kind of like sitting in lines all day until Anime Expo closed and then they got their badges. But hopefully Anime Expo doesn't do this kind of bullshit again. Yeah, see, how many badge check locations were there? Originally, it was just 2 at the west and south entrances. And it's like, that so many people just bought these badges. So it's like...
Yeah. The question is, too, though, is was there an option of no bag? Because I know PAX East has a line where it's just straight up, like, if you don't have a bag, you go on this line. And we check you, but it's like... They just check to make sure you don't have a bag, and then you move on your way. But I think PAX only had 4 metal detectors and 1 line, so it's like you filed into these 4 mini lines, and then you just go through the metal detector, and then a bag check at the same time. So, I don't know, hours a day in general, you either have really, really, really bad security, or I don't even know at that point. It should just, like, that shouldn't happen, even if you only have 2 bag check lines. I don't know.
Again, it's a problem that's only going to get worse because these Western conventions, especially one of the biggest, if not the biggest, like Anime Expo, is just going to grow bigger and bigger every year. So I mean, they need to start working on better solutions for this instead of just being like, oh, people are finally complaining. All right, we'll make like more. We'll finally start mailing out badges or write these off. Yeah. They need to think like ahead of time, and there's plenty of precedent, so there's no excuse.
Yeah, anyway, there's quite a few cons.
Yeah, there are other conventions out there. Anyways, moving on to the next piece of news. This is more on this sort of visual novel slash like adult games front here. A lot of these are being localized, and some of these you guys might recognize. So Anime Expo Sekai Project, sort of infamous localizer. I'll say infamous because it's true. They are planning on localizing 8 like different games. One is Visual Arts Rewrite Plus. Rewrite Plus, I believe, is the sequel / like Fantasy-ish kind of thing. Oh wait, no, it's like a new it's like an enhancement or something like that to Rewrite. It's like an HD remake plus or something like that. So they're
Two
releasing that.
times the druids.
God, fucking damn it. Novecticals, Narcom Engine A, Ubisoft Dracuride. Dracuride is a pretty decent game. It's been recently translated by fans in English. Now Sekai Project's probably just going to take it over. Seal the script, will do whatever they want, right? Ubisoft, that's, I don't know when it was released. I don't think it was released more than a couple of years ago. Senran Banka, Code JP's Ninja, another decent series, I think, from Ubisoft. Code JP's Ninja Girl and the Mysterious Army of Urban Legend Monsters, Hunt of the Headless Horseman. I don't know what the fuck that's about.
Ninja
Maori
girls.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, dude. Maori Works Eternal. I don't know what that is either. Project that's more than a visual novel, but not quite an anime. What does that even mean? With
Animated
a top,
CGs?
with a top-tier roster of anime studio talent behind the scenes, the game has over 2,000 unique cuts and images across 6 routes, leading to a wide range of events and cinematic experiences. Battle of Religion, Magic Girls, and Delusion is set to take place. Oh, this already sounds like some fucking overhyped shit. But anyways, they're doing Silky plus Alpha's Nanaido Reincarnation and Watakubi's Island Diary. Again, all of these are like none of these listed are like I've gone through like half of these, but like they're not like none of these are like tier 3 like Yuki game bullshit. Like all of them are very decently made and they're serviceable to kind of go through. So they'll be coming to stores soon, so check them out. Again, Wagamama High. Oh, they also said Wagamama High Spec is slated for July 25th, so in actually a week and a half. Sakusaka is slated for this fall. Baldur's Sky Drive 1, Lost Memory, and Baldur's Sky Drive Dive 2, Rekodare. We had a combined release slated for mid-2008. Robbie Reeby is coming out late summer 2017. Fallout Silence Pendant is now slated for the 4th quarter of 2017. And original English novel Highway Blossoms will get a remastered physical release later. And it's getting a voiceover, apparently. In other news, there, Frontwing. Frontwing is it's a Japanese studio, but they also often directly hire localization teams and work on stuff, like not just like third-party localization teams. But Frontwing has revealed a new Momoyuno Closet game, and they're working this time with, they're also doing. They're saying that they will release their localization of Kerokyu's Subarashi Hibi Furenzoku Sonsai, or also known as Subahibi, in late August. So let's see. Momoyuno Closet is just a fucking school life series, I think. Subarashi Hibi, Subahibi is an adult or oriented visual novel produced and written by Scotty, which features dark themes and heavy philosophical explorations.
Oh, hell yeah.
This seems like a school life slice of life, but overanalyzed. But yeah. Anyways, so these are coming by Frontwing. And Just USA is also planning on releasing Majikoi. Majikoi being a very famous
What's Majikoi?
Majikoi is short for Majite Watashi ni Koi Shinasai, or Love Me Seriously.
Don't you mean Samurai Girls?
Oh, Samurai Girls. Yeah, that was the English. God. Oh, Samurai Girl. But anyways, Majite Watashi ni Koi Shinasai is a pretty big visual novel. Like, both, in terms
Is
of
it
production.
bigger than Little Busters?
Let's not talk about this.
Is it bigger than Steins Gate?
Nice. Okay, maybe it's not that big.
Is it bigger than Clannad?
All right, so Majikoi is. Pretty...
Is it bigger than Nekopara Volumes 1 through 3?
Shut the fuck up, Toast.
Oh my god.
These are the important questions, Spire.
They're not.
Did it make over 1 million in its Kickstarter?
Kickstarter, yeah, exactly. I thought you were gonna say that. Unfortunately, it didn't. But Majikoi, made by Binamto Soft, is a real. It's like a comedy, rom-com kind of visual novel thing set in school life. Also has some, battle action stuff like that. very popular again both in Japan and abroad. Translated a long time ago, long time ago, by the fan community and the resulting sequels and fan discs and stuff like that. And now the original one, Machi de Watashi Koshinasai, is getting an official
Not the
translation.
extended version?
No, not as
Wow, that's
the
lame.
first one. Yeah. I mean, you need to read the first one to get the extended one in a sense. So it's whatever. But
You
anyways,
mean I have to pay it for twice in order to enjoy it?
no, it's not the same thing twice. The Machikoi S and Machikoi are in different sort of timelines. Not timelines, but it's like they're in like different sort of periods of time. So it's you still would have to read a significant amount of Machikoi. to get
So
it.
I have to read this twice?
Shut up, Toast. uh, it's so Machikoi is coming out. For those of you who want to support Machikoi, for those of you who want an official copy of the game if you haven't already. If you haven't already checked it out, you want to try it out, please check it out. It's a pretty good visual novel.
But I mean, if I have to read it twice, why can't I just read the extended version and enjoy that one?
Don't shut up.
These are the important questions for people who don't read visual novels, Spire. How can you appeal to
yeah. All right, I'll appeal to
modern
the
audience.
The sequel is an entire new expansion.
Is
that
it
brings
like
entire refreshing new content to a single player experience to
is it like Ataraxia version the Fate or
what? No, it's not like Ataraxia at all. Yeah, Ataraxia would be like no, it's like way more than that. But anyway,
how would you know? You only read like 5 minutes of Ataraxia.
shut up, Toast. All right.
You can't pull the wool over my eyes. Spire.
I was trying to.
I'd like to put a zipper over your goddamn mouth.
The other visual novel Jazz GSA is localizing as Machine Child. This is another one that's like your goal is to raise a machine child, a girl born from a mysterious device, tries to shape her strengths. And isn't this like teaching feelings? It's like teaching feelings, right, or whatever.
She
What,
wasn't
with
a
a robot?
robot and
Touching feelings?
No, or touching feel no, yeah, touching feelings or whatever it is. No, I mean she's not a robot there, but it's like the game like sort of idea is the same thing. It's like you're raising this like girl to shape whatever her future or whatever it is, right?
Don't give her the sandwich though.
Yeah, don't give her the same. Machine Child will feature multiple girls to raise, a large selection of costumes, and this is essential like the whole like teaching feelings or whatever it is. A wide variety of events, including vacation.
What is their what is their charm point?
Charm point?
Because the one in teaching feeling was pretty good.
They're teaching. Sorry, the charm point is probably the fact that they're all wearing white dress and bow. Something like, I don't know, dude. Look at that fucking doll in the cover. But yeah, Machine Child, blah, 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 they'll all be beautifully illustrated by Oriashito. Yeah, this honestly just seems like the premise of Quadakaki no Orgel, like the machine kind of thing, combined with the game idea of teaching feelings. So if you like that sort of thing, I guess check it out. Obviously, also check out Majikoi. And again, a lot of games coming out, so please do see them through. Next on the list, a lot of these next pieces of news are interesting new like company projects. So IG Port launches quote-unquote Project Big Ship contest with Anime Adaptation Award. IG Port, the parent company of animation studios Production IG, Wit Studio, Zbex, Signal MD, and publisher MagGuard, announced a new contest on Monday called Project Big Ship, which invites creators to submit works for different categories overseen by each subsidiary company. The project celebrates 10 years since the founding of the IG Port company, in which the parent company was founded in 2007 after a merger between Production IG and MagGuard. So if each of the studios will take in creators' works according to guidelines set by each subsidiary company, and each company will have its own panel of judges who will determine the best work out of all the submissions for each category. The grand prize winner will receive 3 million yen, which is about $26,260 US dollars, an anime adaptation of the submission. So that's again pretty nice. Like the money aside, like the whole like anime adaptation, like on your resume, the experience, whatever, it's pretty big. especially if it's under something like ZBag or Production IG, which are like neither of them are exactly knockover studios, right? So a big opportunity for sort of like
Never heard
putting
of them.
people, yeah, no, hidden gems, yeah. So yeah, Production IG is seeking entries for anime that fit the requirements for the company's recently launched quote unquote Tate anime or Tate anime vertical anime smartphone app. The anime concept must be accomplished in a 3-minute video and can be presented on vertically oriented screens such as smartphones and tablets. What does that even mean? So it's just like different ratio? I don't know what the fuck that is. Okay.
Okay, whatever.
I guess, yeah.
It has
The
to be
allow
recorded vertical.
Yeah, it's like one of those badly recorded like a camera like Facebook video kind of things.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's gonna be like a Vine.
This
Yeah.
anime is sideways. What the fuck?
Yeah. Can you guys not record better? Like stuff like that. The allowed themes include comedy, romance, sports, action, workplace horror, gourmet. What? Games, medical, finance, economy, slice of life, and healing. Healing? What? What is healing?
You know,
What? How is that a theme?
it's like
What is that even-
you just animate meditation. It's the easiest thing to animate because they don't move.
It's like that thing with Nanako, training with Nanako or whatever,
Yeah, oh yeah, training with Naga, just like some
or
sort of
whatever it's called.
Yeah. What's going on here? All right. Anyway, Signal MD. They're seeking digitally produced GIF animation with a length above 3 seconds. A lot of same themes. Zbeck. Company is seeking original works with a quote-unquote climbing theme and stories about reaching the top. The company advises entrants to keep in mind the project name of Big Ship that calls to mind humanity's will to explore both oceans and peaks because it's there. The company will accept story pitches and concept illustrations. I feel like whatever happens with this is going to end up like Suicide in the Gargantua, but like with mountains. You know what I mean? Because it's like
So after you, so like you fall into a mountain crevice and you're suddenly like warp several hundred years into the future.
yeah, into an ocean feature or something like that.
There's
Or maybe
there's secretly an ocean on top of this mountain.
yeah. Oh, my
How-
God.
Who'd thunk
That's
it?
weird.
Yeah. I don't know. The theme is very weird, but I'm kind of interested to see who the winner. Matt Garden, the company is seeking original works for high fantasy, low fantasy, and science fantasy genres. The magazine defines high fantasy as "quote unquote" story set in a completely different fantasy world. Wow, I wonder if that might be feudal.
I wonder
Low
if
fan-
that might be isekai.
Yeah. Low fantasies as fantasy in the present day world are based heavily on in the real world. So essentially, like high school DxD or high school DD. And science fantasy as fantasy works defined by science with an eye to the future, similar in meaning to science fiction. Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And then the allowed theme. What's okay? What's the point of giving? What?
How do you have specific fantasy themes and then you just give the same comedy, romance, sports?
Yeah, I know.
How do you have
I have
sci?
I have a workplace gourmet healing theme. That's also low. Like that's also a high fantasy, low fantasy science fiction thing. Like what? Okay, sure.
Where's my low fantasy sports anime?
Yeah, low fantasy sports games healing anime, dude.
Yeah. I need
Uh,
finance though.
Let's see this. Novels under the label are published with the possibility of serving as a foundation for future video projects. So that's what Wit Studios do. So they're sort of like a middle ground, like a staging ground for gathering novels that can be later adapted into anime. The allowed themes include science fiction, fantasy, and other speculative fiction with quote-unquote timeless and universal themes. I can't wait to see the interest for this one.
Timeless, so instant classics, 25 episodes
Yes.
each.
Instant classics. They just have to be like, literally the first second you'd be like, wow, this is the next Cowboy Bebop or some other.
This is the next Recreators.
Oh, God.
The Evangelion of our generation.
But what'll be the anti-recreator?
The anti-Evangelion of our generations.
Damn.
I'm looking towards ZDEC stuff the most, but I don't know what you guys think about these like award stuff. It's like a good idea. I just I think some of these are a little bit too like narrow. Like obviously like profit oriented. Like obviously all of them are profit oriented, but I think some of them are a little bit too
The
optimistic.
next TQ of our generation.
But yeah, and hopefully the entries, the winners will be good. Next, Crunchyroll partners with NBC Universal Entertainment Japan to co-develop anime. So, Crunchyroll announced on Wednesday that it's partnered with NBC Universal Entertainment Japan to co-develop new anime titles. The two companies did not announce any specific titles, but mentioned they are aiming for quote-unquote international appeal. Yeah, I don't know what
That
That doesn't mean anything.
Wow.
Yeah, I want things that people like. Like, that you might as well have just said that.
Yeah, like international appeal is the most fucking empty words a company could ever utter. Whatever, man. Whenever Crunchyroll is involved, it's fucking shit.
I was gonna say it's got that Crunchyroll seal of approval, seal of
Soon-
quality. So
Soon you're gonna see co-produced with Crunchyroll, and you're gonna be like, oh, I don't want to watch that.
they can't even sub shows fucking properly. You think I'm trust them to make shows properly?
Yeah, it's gonna-
Yes.
Fuck's sake.
Oh, Jesus. But anyways, yeah, if you're a Crunchyroll fan for whatever reason, look
My
out for this.
condolences.
My condolences to your parents. Next, Hideaki Anno unveils Project Studio Q to train Kyushu animators. So,
okay.
So anime director and studio co-founder Hideaki Anno, Aso Group chairman Takeshi Aso, and Durango president, Durango is, I believe, a database company, isn't it? Or no, it's not. Okay.
Database.
No, Durango. Sorry. There is like another like database company in the West. But Durango president Nobuo Kawakami announced last year that they are launching a new company named Project Studio Q for their anime CG9 project. The new project aims to train young animators in the Kyushu region of Japan. The project focuses on CG techniques. The project aims to gather talent from animators outside of Tokyo, saying that as of 2016, there are 622 anime production companies in Japan, 87.1% of them located in Tokyo. Well, that's not too big a surprise. They're also collaborating with Aso Group's Aso Pop Culture College, which recently opened in Fukuoka City's Hakata Ward in April 1st. And Anno's studio Kara is handling lecturing with assistance from staff by Duango. Both Kara and Duango are sending a lecture for them. I mean, it's nice, I guess, but the problem is not the fact that people are, like, have no idea, or like they're like, what is going to be the future of animation or whatever. I don't think that was ever the real problem. Although this teaching thing is nice, right? The problem is like the livelihood of the animators, right? Like even when they get into entry, shit, right? Like that's this is sort of like putting the cart before the horse, in a sense, in my opinion. What do you guys think?
I mean,
As
you can
expected
train
from the
people.
master, Hideaki Anno.
Yeah. Like it's like a nice-minded idea, but like that's not really the major problem. Like rampant. I don't know. Like I think like again, this is still a good idea, but I think this sort of money would be just better used in like helping fucking like animators get food or something. Like
They could
like,
use it to make Evangelion season 2.
yeah, yeah, force these animators to work on season 2. But I don't know. I don't think this is really solving the problem, especially since I mean, even like the outsourcing problem. It's not because there's like so much talent overseas. It's because these Japanese animators aren't getting paid anything, and so people don't really want to work in that kind of field. So,
You mean I can make like $1,500 a month? Oh, sign me up.
literally $10,000. Like, what is it? It was like the yearly salary was like 10,000, right, or something like that. Like for the entry level.
Oh,
Like, wow, that's so good. Like,
that's
okay.
like less than a part-time job pays you.
Yeah, it's like top level, like producers at like studios are getting paid like 44,000. Like, come on, like that's a little bit. That's a little bit much. So yeah, I don't think this really solves the problem. Whatever. Anyways, next piece of news. One Piece, we talked about how for their 20th anniversary, One Piece would do like 20 different projects or something like that. This is just like a little list of like what they revealed. One Piece reveals new video game and other 20th century announcements. So this year's 33rd
Video
issue.
games, that's not anime.
This year's 33rd issue of Shueisha's Weekly Shonen Jump magazine revealed on Saturday a new quote-unquote codename Dawn video game for Eiichiro Oda's One Piece franchise. Blah blah blah. Additionally, the Hello One Piece exhibition will get overseas appearances. The first overseas exhibit will be in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia in October. The other announcements featured in the issue include 1. A renewal, I guess I'll just put on the list here. A renewal of the One Piece official website and a new 20th anniversary special website. The Tokyo One Piece Tower theme park will feature a summer festival called Tokyo Pirates Festival starting on July 22nd. I didn't even know there was a One Piece Tower theme park.
Why wouldn't it? It's One Piece.
Yeah,
One Piece 4D, man.
Yeah. The 3 One Piece smartphone games, Treasure Cruise Thousand Storm Grand Collection, will have a special 20th anniversary in-game event starting later this month. Shueisha will release volumes 1 through 60 of the manga digitally on a special website for free for a limited time. 20th anniversary illustration figure arts, 0 figures of all 9 Straw Hat crew members. Luffy and Chopper stamps for the communication app Snow starting on July 21st. A One Piece Ogiri challenge on the Line app starting on July 21st. A Twitter campaign where Twitter will create a Straw Hat emoji for users who use the hashtag One Piece, hashtag One Piece 20th, hashtag One Piece in like katakana, or hashtag One Piece Niju. Starting on Niju Shuden starting on July 22nd. An Everyone's Luffy campaign where Shueisha is taking applications of fan art of Luffy until August 31st, and will feature a collection of 100 pieces of fan art, alongside a drawing of Luffy by Oda on a future cover of Weekly Shonen Jump later this year. And finally, the second volume of the 3-issue One Piece magazine will arrive in Japan on August 4th. First issue shipped earlier this month. So lots of One Piece stuff. So much One Piece stuff. Way too much One Piece stuff coming to you, One Piece fans. So look out for that. 20th anniversary just hitting people in the face right now. And last piece of event news before we go on to... Oh yeah, the last piece of thing before we go on to people news. This is just, again, we don't really cover anime adaptation stuff that much, but this is kind of like a funny one I want to cover. So, Anime Gatari. So, DMM Pictures is making a new, I believe, original television anime called Anime Gatari, or Anime Stories. And they revealed their story, cast, staff, blah, 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 recently. The story of Anime Gatari is the anime centers on Minoa Asagaya, a new high school student at Sakaneko Private High School. Despite being a novice to anime, Minoa's classmate Arisu Kamigusa invites her to make an anime research club at school. Through conversations with her classmate Miku Koenji, as well as various anime-loving classmates, Minoa gradually gets hooked on anime. While they stand against the student council's continuous efforts to disband their club, and they ignore the impending end of the world, they talk about anime, whether it's Akiba, or in real-life sacred place...
like a meteor or something?
Or in real-life, quote-unquote, secret place anime settings, or the hot springs.
An animator.
Yeah, anime... The anime will premiere this fall. Some famous people or some other cast people are Takashi Rie, the person who's leading Megumi and stuff like that. Is Obata Yui, Shinta Terashima, Mitsuki Nakano, Setsuo Ito, Musashi Kai, and so on. But yeah, it's an anime. It's an anime about anime girls talking about anime research. how far have we gone down the rabbit hole right now?
Do you think they'll watch a school
Shut up.
club anime?
Shut up! Shut up! Don't say it. We're already too deep. This is too deep. We are too deep in the rabbit hole.
What
right
if
now.
they watch this
An
anime?
Yeah, this anime, and then no. The last thing is like this. They turn on the anime, and it's an introduction. It's like the first seconds of like the first episode. So
No,
and then they
shit,
no,
and
no.
then they zoom in on the screen, and then they zoom in on the screen
The last,
until it fits.
the very last scene, it zooms out, and
Yeah.
it's a laptop, and
Oh!
the anime characters are watching the anime, and they're like, "That was pretty good."
And then what
No,
if
no,
it
no.
zooms out again and the director's sitting there?
It's
watching
live
on the
action.
laptop?
Yes, live action.
What if it's rotoscope?
Please God. It's like the anime people watching this anime close the laptop, and then they walk out and they show that it's the school, like the private school in this anime.
God.
Oh my god! Like it's been a decent amount of time since I used this phrase, but these series are really scraping the barrel. Like creating an anime series about anime research. But like, how far is this gonna get really? Like, come on. It'll be pretty meme heavy, but like, let's be real here. If it okay, so there's one exception. If it turns out to be like super like meme reference heavy, like Nyaruko reference heavy, I will forgive it. But if it's
Like it references a whole bunch of other series and stuff.
like legit references, like they sneak it in as like a joke or whatever, like the one really clever one where it's like the Kutuko, right? Kutuko and the main character Mahiro, right?
Kutuguha?
Yeah, Kuko was like Kuko was just like, okay, we'll have a baby, and if the baby, or we'll name the baby Kuroko. And if the baby is a girl, we'll send her to academy study. And if the baby is a boy, we'll teach him basketball or something like that. Like stuff like that. I want stuff like
so
that.
me.
But if it's not like that, if it's just like, oh, Akiba, that's where a lot of anime is. Like, have you seen the mate and Akiba? Like, if it's stuff like that, like. Like I can't suffer through that. I can't suffer through that sort of shit anymore.
Unless I need to go back and read a fucking blog spot like webpage to find all the references, it ain't worth it.
Yeah, like unless people are literally like, oh, this is a super rare way.
Like, this was actually a reference to a 1960s comic strip in Japan.
Yeah. I hope it's gonna go a little bit deeper, but I'm like really afraid.
Are you an otaku too? Shit.
God, I'm so afraid, dude. I'm so afraid. I can't. But yeah, hopefully this goes well.
Relax, Spire. It's not the end of the world.
Apparently it is.
Apparently it is. But yeah, that's all the event news we have for today. Yeah.
How is the world gonna end? Was it an earthquake, a meteor,
They don't
the
even
sun
say.
exploding?
They
Wow.
just say,
It's just ending, dude.
Yeah, it's just
Declining birth rate because they're all getting too far into anime.
Yeah.
And then the sequel is Koi to Uso.
So they save the world.
Save the world.
So we're going on to people news now, and I actually want to cover sort of the sad news, although I usually don't cover the sad news first, but I do want to save the sort of more, I guess, discussion-heavy piece for last. So the first piece of the sad news is again, so Yokoyama Seiji passes away, and he was the composer of the soundtrack for Saint Seiya. So he passed away at the age of 82. And the other one is that Wajima Ami, an 18-year-old singer, has currently put her career on hold due to health issue. She was the singer behind Digimon Universe so she was a singer behind Digimon Universe that debuted last year. So again, hope quick recoveries for Majima Ami, and also condolences to family of Yokoyama Seiji. And the last piece of sort of people news is very interesting one. So, PA Works and Shogi revealed on Thursday that PA Works is producing Sayonara no Asa ni Yakusoku no Hana o Kazaru. Sorry. No, I guess I'll say that. Sayonara no Asa ni Yakusoku no Hana o Kazaru. Or Let Us Adorn the Morning of Farewells with Promised Flowers. So this is an original anime film opening in Japan on February 24th, 2018. And the film marks the directorial debut of prolific anime screenwriter Kadamari, and she's also penning the film's script. Okada said that the film's story will be about contact between people with interwoven meetings and partings. The story will depict a human drama like everyone has experienced at some point that gradually pierces the heart. Okada commented on her role in the film. As a screenwriter, I wanted to write the story for a long time. As a director, to be able to affect things beyond the script, such as the video and the sound, it's both a pleasure and a challenge. She said that she chose to become a director after PA Works CEO Kenji Horikawa said to her that he, quote-unquote, wanted to see a work where she gave her full 100%. And thinking about what that meant, in the end she decided that becoming a director, with the responsibility of heading the group effort of anime production and giving directions to each team of a studio from beginning to end, was the best way to achieve that, and asked Horikawa for the opportunity. So, what do you guys think? I'm watching the trailer right now, by the way.
I like the art style.
This seems like a supernatural saga, at least.
It seems like I think it's fantasy. What's
Yeah,
his name's doing the character designs? Akihiko Yoshida. So
yeah.
I'd imagine it's some sort of fantastical thing.
So, I mean, it's probably going to be much more on like character development than it is on this. I mean, if it's like a vague fantasy thing, it's probably not going to focus on whatever some strange like action.
No, because it pierces the heart. It's about interwoven meetings and partings.
But I think it might work well. What I'm worried about is, especially in the light of Shinkai Makoto's comments and his Your Name, his recent film Your Name, and what that came out of. I'm kind of worried about the pacing of this film because Kadamari, I don't know. I think she does decently with these longer slice of life series. Again, like stuff like Iroha and so on like that. But I think she might suffer a little bit when there might be other influences, or when it's not exactly just like a 24 episode anime. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like with Anohana, for instance, it wasn't like the pacing of it was very strange, and that's one of sort of the biggest flaws in that series. And I'm not sure if a film will give her the script like that she wants justice, but it is very interesting to see her taking on this more full-fledged role, because the previous sort of series where she kind of struggled, for instance, Kofuku Graffiti, where she had to work with director Akiyuki Shimbo and the as well as the original author to kind of weave out her ideas. Kofuku Graffiti didn't end up being that good, so I'm interested to see what happens when she is pretty much controlling everything, like creative works wise. I don't think it'll turn out too terribly, but I'm not entirely sure in how the pacing will go, just because of her past experiences. What about you guys?
Well, for me, I just read that she recently collaborated for Iron Blooded Orphans, so my confidence in her lessens
She
more
wrote
and more
the
every
majority
second.
of IBO, dude.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's
So I'm
she
even less
wrote it
confident.
like from the start.
Oh boy. Fuck.
I mean, Okada Marie certainly can't write action series, that's for sure. Um,
She also can't write suspense series.
she can't write a lot of things, it seems. I don't know. I think
She definitely has her hit and misses. She's prolific, but prolific does not necessarily mean quality.
yes. I think what was the last thing I really enjoyed from Okada Marie? Anthem of the Heart, I guess. But again,
Anthem of the Heart.
that had a lot of flaws.
Yeah, Anthem of the Heart was the ending
You didn't like
again was
Mayoiga?
You didn't like Kisniver or The Lost Village?
Are you saying you did? Are you saying you didn't like Mayoiga here? What about? Did that pierce your heart?
Pierced something.
Pierced his heart like an umbrella.
Yeah. Oh Jesus!
I just fell down the flight of stairs called emotion, and
And the umbrella,
the
umbrella,
the
umbrella
umbrella
feelings
the
just
umbrella of sadness pierced my throat.
at 45 degrees exactly. But yeah, do you think it's gonna end up? I mean, okay, if you had to give a probability of this ending up successful, what would you give it?
Ending up successful?
Or ending up like, okay, I liked it. There may be some flaws or something like that. Like that's
I mean, I'd say the odds of me liking it are probably high. I mean, just from this PV, this art style is really fucking nice. But
as for it becoming like a masterpiece kind of thing, like
as for like liking the story, I don't know. Okada Marie's real flip floppy.
she is pretty picky. Yeah.
It's really hard to say. It's really hard to say that I'm going to, love something written by Okada Marie, let alone directed by her.
Yeah.
You didn't like True Tears, Near? I like True Tears.
I mean, I don't know. It's just such an unknown, right? Like,
yeah, and it's like an investment. Like she's not gonna, like, obviously she can't do everything. Like that's the problem, right? Like she's going to have to divert her efforts and stuff like that, and that's gonna necessarily take away from some of the script writing, maybe some of the whatever she's doing. So
I'll be cautiously optimistic. I'll say that much.
yeah. Dark Toast.
I'm just gonna be cautious.
Cautious.
I'm not really gonna be that optimistic. It looks nice, but if it's bad, then that doesn't really matter to me.
Yeah. Okay, Toast.
It'll look good, but I don't know. I have confidence in visuals, but we'll see. It's I have more pressing movies that I'm waiting for.
Like Yu-Gi-Oh?
Like and the Nanoha movie and Heaven's Feel.
So yeah, I mean we're also kind of like seeing at least what it'll bring about, because it'll probably bring about a change in obviously Okada Marie's career and whatever happens to the movies. So.
It'll be a change, all right. Whether that's for the better or worse.
Yeah, is another thing. Yeah,
it's quite the unknown.
I hope for her.
Can't get much worse though. So.
I mean, I hope for good things from Okada Marie, because she's made some good shit.
Yeah.
But she's made some shit as well.
Yeah, it's like Genrubuchi, like when it's like Genrubuchi ascending, or it's like Okada Marie ascending. It's like they make some decent stuff. Let's be real here. But then when they're not like on their game, or when they're pigeonholed into some genre that they're not really,
or when they leave after 3 episodes.
When they leave after 3 episodes, maybe she directs like 20 minutes and then she just leaves in the middle or something. But yeah, we'll look out for that.
What was that one show that had all the good authors in it, but it ended up sucking?
Quality Code or something like that?
Chaos Dragon.
Chaos
also
Dragon, yeah,
Quality Code.
Also Quality. No, Quality Code didn't have good
Quality
art.
Code
Yeah, had big people.
had big
Didn't have-
names. Didn't have
Yeah.
good names.
Yeah, I apologize. I don't know what came over me. Anyways, that's that, and we'll now move on to shoutouts and callouts. As everybody knows, shoutouts is one thing that you would like to praise, give 10 out of 10. It's anything, you can praise an item, a period of history, a thing, a human being, whatever. And callouts is exactly the opposite. You can shout out, or sorry, you can insult, give, flame 1 out of 10 to something, person, baggage material, musical instrument, whatever, and you can have one shout out and one call out. And yeah, that's. I guess I'll start first.
Wow.
The call out. Let's see. I actually have, sorry, but I already called out the people who fucking did like, oh, this is the anti-Monica or whatever bullshit, right?
You blew your load. You said you didn't want to fucking call that out because you wanted to call out something else.
Can't take it back now. Too late.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, stupid.
I'm thinking of whether I want to call out the V and like grammar people or whether I want to call out this one person. Actually, I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say that for Afrikaans. But yeah, okay. So there were some like. Well, actually, no, I'm not gonna call it the visual novel people because they had good intentions. I can't call them out. There was one guy that I have like different Discord channels. There was one guy who was like, did Carnival?
So you're saying you hang out with people other than us?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Well, Spire does like NTR after all.
But I thought he only wanted
Nice.
to watch,
Yeah,
not to do it himself.
yeah. This is already male cheating tag. I was gonna say, yeah, okay. So there's a guy in this Discord that like people were just like talking about fate or something like that, and then one person literally said, "Did Carnival Phantasm revitalize the Fate series and make it the monster it is today?" And I'm just like,
Yes.
what? What?
Yes,
Fate-
because
Fate has never really been revitalized. It's always been a monster.
Yeah, and Carnival
I think
Phantasm out of
you
all
mean
the things.
Tsukihime.
Yeah,
Probably meant
Tsukihime
Tsukihime.
remake. Yeah, I'm just like,
But Tsukihime came first.
yeah, it's like the problem is like that was like one of the major series that like they quote unquote knew, like franchise wise. I'm just like, if you're going to talk about a franchise, could you at least just like know your history or like know like the scale of whatever you're talking about? Like you can't just be like, yeah, this random thing that I liked. Oh, I liked it and it was funny, so it must have been popular. And by virtue of that, because it was popular, it must have been the thing that revitalized. Because I clearly didn't hear about Fate before this. Like, come on, like,
I mean, Carnival Phantasm was the first one.
yeah,
Yeah.
Final Fantasy was the first one, yeah. So,
The others are the spin-off.
First came Carnival Phantasm.
and then it was Ilya, right?
Then came Melty Blood.
They came out people the anime, right? Yeah.
And then came Kero no Kyokai, and then
Kero no
came
Kyokai.
Fate.
Yeah, and then they did Tales of X, the anniversary
And before,
anime.
well, before all of that was Nitro Plus.
Yeah.
And then they saw the character Saber in that, and they were like,
Yeah,
oh,
so damn, that's a
We
good
should
idea.
we should make series based on this.
Oh my god, just like I just have to call on people who are just like looking at this franchise, and like making these observations, which are like fun. Like it's okay to make observations, but at least like ground like your sense of anything in something. Like just your sense of like where anime series stand has to be on something that's like sensible. Like don't be like Carl Fantasy movie. It's like revitalized the like great series. Like what the fuck? Come on. So that's my call out. My shout out. This is Evo weekend. We are recording this on Evo Sunday, so I would like to congratulate all the winners and all the participants of the people who participated in Evolution 2017 fighting game tournament. They did a good job. I liked watching a lot of the tournament. Shout outs to them.
good job.
Yeah, good shit. Next,
Good fights.
yeah,
Fuck Street
Uh,
Fighter 5.
fuck Street Fighter. Anyways, next on the list is Toast.
Why? What? Oh.
Shout out to Callouts, please.
What are the shoutouts or callouts, Fire?
We've
I already
already gone over this.
Okay, good.
Oh yeah, just checking.
My shout out is to the 4-hour nap I got for this podcast. It's pretty good. I woke up late.
Yeah, you did.
I said why. Then what's your call out?
My call out is to
Call out better be to your fucking alarm clock for waking you late up before the podcast.
I forgot to set it. My alarm clock goes to. I mean, dang it! Hold on. My call out goes to Ragnarok Online. It made me remember why I played it in 2005 and why I shouldn't have started playing it a week ago. It's happening all over again.
It's still up?
Hell yeah!
Jesus.
They just opened a new server in the Philippines and a new server in international.
That's
Okay.
crazy.
It's like a StarCraft 2, man. You can't get rid of it, and it's really popular in the sea area because the computers suck.
Alright, so then on to Nier. Shout out to Callouts, please.
Callouts to the fact that I've had to go to the bathroom
What?
for this entire podcast. And
We had to
Do
talk
you
about
have a bladder
medicated
infection?
no, I just
He has kidney stones in his bladder.
Did you have
really
you
have
have
to go.
Do you have prostate cancer?
Yeah. I have,
Like right now.
I have like 4 hours left to live.
Yes. Okay. So
I had a shout out like 2 minutes ago, and I forgot.
shout out to my glorious
What was
twins.
it? Was it to your blackout of a computer or whatever, or did you do that last?
I already did that. Shout outs to the fact that I got, let's see if I can pronounce this in one go. Utawa, no, I can't do it. Utawa Rerumo no.
Utaware mono.
So it's like the verb and then it's like utawareru mono.
Yes,
It's like
That- Is that the one with the dog-eared people?
yes, I got that working today, and
nice.
it's very fun. It's it's a fun game. It is a strategy RPG visual novel. It's quite old. I think it's like early 2000s.
So it's older than you? Whoa.
Yeah, it's older. It's older than me. I was born in the year 2016.
Yes. Fucking 16er.
Yeah.
You
yeah.
can't say that. You can't swear on this podcast if he's a child. What's wrong with you?
That's true.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for being bad influence on you. Go on.
But yeah, it's a good game. I'm hoping to get into the series. So
Okay. And also, it was done by Apricot Leaf. Who was it? Which studio was it done by?
man, I don't know. I think it's Leaf.
Yeah, but Leaf is quite a famous visual novel series, and you know their sort of like general line of visual novels are pretty good prompts, or so I've heard. So
Yeah.
you might also want to check those out too.
Sting and Leaf. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, just they make a good sort of classic line of brands, so I'll check that out. Anyways, last but not least, Dark. Shout out to Callouts, please.
Call outs to Capcom as a company. Can you die already, please?
Abigail.
I'd really, man,
But
I'd really
Monster
like it
Hunter.
if they would finally fucking go away. It'd be real cool.
After Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
Um,
Monster Hunter.
good God, because wow, were all of the things from Capcom at Evo pieces of shit. MVCI's announcements, fucking terrible.
Hey.
Abigail for Street Fighter V. Wow, a bad character in a bad game.
You see those
Especially-
lines for Street Fight or Marvel vs. Capcom versus Dragon Ball Fighters.
No,
Pretty
I
cool.
didn't actually, but good because MVCI looks like trash.
Yeah.
And I think it was Fisk, someone from Chad and I were talking about it, and he was saying that they use the same models as UMV Ultimate Marvel 3, which is definitely not true for all of the hideous characters we've seen in that game, because no amount of shaders would change how awful Dante looks. And yeah, so bad game, bad characters.
Name's Dante the Demon Killer has a nice ring to it.
Has a nice ring to it, don't you think? Shout out to the Humble Bundle.
Fuck you.
Shout out to the Humble Bundle. Because boy, is this Humble Bundle a giant piece of shit, and boy, is it fun to spend $1 and send that to someone. This
You
Humble
get
Bundle, for
Skullgirls.
those that don't know, is Umbrella Corps. Oh wait, is it? Yeah, no, it's still up. It's Umbrella Corps, D little MC,
Oh no.
and
Strider.
Strider.
Strider's the good one though.
Strider's okay.
Strider's
I had
best
fun with
best game in that tier.
Absolutely.
I think it's like 15 or more dollars or something, and you get like RE6 and Resident Evil Remake or something. Just damn good deal.
It's
But-
it's actually only $7, and then
Damn.
you get Dead Rising 2, the Umbrella Corps upgrade, the most important one.
Oh yeah.
Resident Evil 0 HD and Resident Evil 6 and Resident Evil HD, and then $12 is Dead Rising 2 and 3.
Yeah. So for like $7, that's a damn good deal. You
Yeah.
get some good Resident Evil games there. So. But for $1, you get the worst Resident Evil game of all time. So. That's cool.
And the worst Devil May Cry of all time.
Hell yeah.
Well, I don't know.
I don't know. Two's pretty
Debatable
bad.
whether it's debatable whether that one's better than 2 or not.
Okay, so that I guess. Wait. Okay, yeah.
Was that your shout out or your call out? What? I'm
No,
confused.
no, that was just his caller, right? You didn't. Do
No, that was my shout out. Because
Okay.
shout out to the Humble Bundle for being a piece
Oh,
of shit.
yeah,
and it's fun
yeah,
to
yeah.
send to people.
What's your call out?
$1 I called
his
out
call was
Capcom.
Yeah, his call was Capcom,
fucking
yeah.
terrible.
Yeah. Okay.
Both shoutouts and callouts very related.
Yeah.
It's true.
He made a very smooth transition. But yeah, so again, thank you all for your shout outs, call outs, and with that,
Where's your
Yeah.
shout outs to call outs, Fire?
He did his first.
I
Oh.
did my first, yeah.
Do it again. I wasn't listening.
Yeah. Alright, I will recite it to you later after this talk. But anyways, again, thank you all for listening, both in the live stream and out there. And if you like what we do, please follow us on twitch.tv/4PlayerAnimecast. That's with the number 4. We stream this live at every other Saturday starting from 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we talk about the latest and greatest in anime, manga, visual novels, web novels, light novels, so on and so forth, all other Japanese sort of media and animation related news. We also sometimes play games, do sidecasts, all sorts of content, and we sometimes keep up. We keep up updates on what we're doing, if we're doing any new content or whatever giveaways, whatever, on our social media. So follow us on Facebook, 4PlayerAnimecast, YouTube channel where we upload our VODs, recent VODs, and our Twitter at 4PPAnimecast, again with a number 4. We also keep an archive of our VODs, our MP3s, so on, for your listening pleasure, on our website at 4PlayerAnimecast.moe, again with a number 4. And we also have other sort of text content, interviews, so on. We have MP3s available in iTunes and Google Music, so check those out while you're on the go. And with that, we'll probably cover a lot more. Again, we'll probably be going on this breakneck sort of pace, covering 3, maybe even 4 series, every episode, because there are, a lot of series out there right now to cover that, people are kind of watching. So we'll be on the lookout for that. But again, until next time.